So we are back on the record in cause number 2022-0D00647 and 2022-0D05577 State of Texas versus Benjamin Allen Filia Jr. May I have announcements, please? Ms. Elizalde, do you hear us?
Judge, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I can hear you, but it looks like for me, the other screens are freezing up a lot. And so I think I heard the cause number. Was it on Benjamin Filia?
Yes.
I don't know if there's like a weak internet connection. We can keep trying, Judge, but everyone's breaking up a lot.
All seems fine to me, Judge.
Yeah, everything. It's probably your connection, Ms. Elizalde. I mean,
do you want to go ahead and try, Judge? And if not, I'll switch to my mobile device if it continues.
Okay. All right. So I've called both cases. May I have announcements, please?
Eliana Elizalde for the state. State is ready.
Alex Shawala for Mr. Filia. We're ready.
And I have in cause number ending 647, we are set for a plea of true. In cause number 5577, I understand that one is being dismissed pursuant to his plea of true. Is that correct?
Correct.
It is, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Filia, in your probation case, that's the only case I'm going to be handling today. I have us down for a plea of true, so I need to swear you in. Would you raise your right hand, please? Sir, do you swear or affirm that any testimony you provide will be the truth and the whole truth? Ooh, Mr. Filia, I cannot hear you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much. You can put your hand down. Would you state your name and date of birth for the record?
Benjamin Filia, 7/20/78.
Mr. Filia, are you the same individual who on August 30th, 2022, entered a plea of guilty to the offense of robbery and was sentenced to 10 years confinement, suspended for a period of 4 years of community supervision? Are you that same individual?
Yeah.
Mr. Shawala, do you waive formal reading of the motion in this case?
We do, Your Honor.
And Mr. Shawala, any reason to believe your client is not competent to proceed on his plea of true today?
None.
Mr. Filia, have you ever been found mentally incompetent by any court?
No.
Ever been examined by a doctor psychiatrist who's found you mentally ill?
No.
Okay, so I'm going to find that you are competent to enter your plea today in this case. Sir, I have documents I received from your attorney in the state. They are marked as States Exhibits 1, 2, and 3. They were the stipulations and waiver in this case. Do you recall reviewing those with your attorney and signing those?
Yes.
Did you understand everything contained within those documents?
Yes.
Are you freely and voluntarily waiving the rights explained in the documents that you signed?
Yes.
And do you understand that by signing those documents, you're giving up certain constitutional rights?
Yes.
Do you understand that you are making a judicial confession?
Yes.
Do you understand that on your plea of true in all reasonable probability, I will find the allegations in the state's motion to be true and your community supervision will be revoked? Do you understand that?
Yes.
With respect to the motion to revoke, do you wish to enter a plea of true or not true?
True.
Other than the plea agreement you've reached with the state, are you pleading true because the allegations in the motion are true and for no other reason?
Yes.
Okay, what was the agreement in this case? Was it 2 TDC? That's what I had notated.
It is 2 TDC.
It is.
And then the dismissal that I have sent you. And in addition, Mr. Shawala and I discussed a misdemeanor case resisting arrest that will be dismissed in misdemeanor court.
Okay, Mr. Shawala, is that your understanding of the agreement here?
Yes, Judge.
And Mr. Filia, is that your understanding as well? A plea of true on the probation case, dismiss the new felony and dismiss the misdemeanor?
Yes.
Okay, I will accept that plea agreement and admit the state's exhibits 1, 2, and 3 into evidence. The court will take judicial notice of all the documents in the district clerk's file under this cause number. Mr. Filia, based on the evidence presented here today and on your plea of true, I will find there is sufficient evidence to support the allegations in the state's motion. And the court will now make a finding that the allegations are true. The judgment in this cause is now amended from 4 years community supervision to 2 years confinement in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice Institutional Division. You will receive credit for any time that you have served. There is also a dismissal to be filed with the papers in cause number 2022-0D05577. Of course, the misdemeanor dismissal will go to the appropriate court. Is there anything further, Ms. Elizalde?
Nothing further, Judge.
Mr. Shawala?
No, Judge, thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's move
Thank you.
on.
Good luck,
and-
Benjamin.
and
May be excused.
You may. Take care. Thank you, Mr. Filia. We can now go to Mr. Abud's case.
Up on page 23, Judge, annex, may we have Quiroz, Yari?
Judge, Judge, before we start this hearing, it was my understanding it was a recommendation was 5 years deferred.
I have 5 for 5 straight on the plea paperwork.
Yeah, that's what I had too, but I don't know.
I did
Judge,
not see a motion for deferred in the plea paperwork either.
The yellow line.
I am covering for Mr. Bunsen for BPU, and my understanding it is 5 straight.
So if we
Okay.
need to, I don't know, if we need to push it to another setting, I can do that, but the plea paperwork indicated 5 for 5.
Well, let's put it off just to be safe. To
Okay,
have it reset.
we can. I'm actually gonna, because to me, I'm gonna have it reset for Thursday at 11 a.m.
Okay,
If you all don't have an agreement, Mr. Aboud, and there is no plea, I think we have future settings, so we can just go on to the future settings, but I need you to let us know that. If not, if they make that, if you all come to an agreement on the deferred and you want to go forward, or even on the straight and you want to go forward, we'll take care of it on Thursday.
very good, Judge. Thank you very much.
Okay, so let's reset Mr. Quiroz for Thursday. Thank you. Who's next?
Middle of page 20, Judge. Annex, may we have Chilson?
Can we get to some of, so Mr. Morales is here. Can we get to some of the pleas first? Hi, Ms. Rago, sorry, but let me see if we can knock out some of these pleas first. In fact, I think the court reporter is here for Mr. Miller. I mean, the court reporter, the court interpreter. Hi, Ms. Rago.
You,
Annex,
you're gonna need Miller, Judge?
no, may we have Covington?
Yes, let's go to Covington.
Covington. Yeah, he's coming right now.
Thank you, sir.
Covington.
Mr. Morales, you ready?
Ready, Judge.
Okay, let's call it.
In cause number 2022-0D01174, State of Texas versus Robert Covington. Announcement of council, please.
Eliana Elizalde for the state. State is ready.
And Leonard Morales on behalf of Mr. Covington. We're ready, Judge.
And Mr. Morales, do you see your client appearing from the jail annex?
I do, Judge.
And are you in agreement with conducting this plea via Zoom rather than in person?
I am, Judge.
Mr. Covington, we have you scheduled for a plea today, and I did receive a form signed by you agreeing to do this via Zoom rather than in person. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Covington, let's get started with your plea. Would you raise your right hand, please? Sir, do you swear or affirm that any testimony you provide will be the truth and the whole truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much. You can put your hand down. Would you please state your name and date of birth for the record?
My name is Robert Leon Covington. My birthday is 8/15/1990.
Mr. Covington, as I mentioned, I received documents indicating that you indeed wish to plead guilty in this case. The first document is marked as State's Exhibit Number 1. Those are the plea papers. Within that document, you're guaranteed certain rights, including the right to remain silent, the right to trial by jury, the right to counsel, the right to confront and cross-examine witnesses, and the right to call witnesses on your behalf and in your defense. Mr. Covington, do you recall reviewing State's Exhibit Number 1 with your attorney and signing that document?
I do.
Did you understand everything contained within that document?
I do.
Mr. Morales, have you had more than 10 days to prepare a defense in this case?
We have, Your Honor.
And did you explain the plea papers to your client?
I did, Judge.
Do you believe he has understood the admonishments, rights, and consequences of giving up these rights by entering his plea today?
I do believe so, Judge.
Mr. Covington, are you satisfied with your attorney's representation of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Morales, any reason to believe your client is not presently competent to enter his plea?
Your Honor, I have no reason to doubt Mr. Covington's competence to enter his plea here this afternoon.
Mr. Covington, have you ever been found mentally incompetent by any court?
No, ma'am.
Ever been examined by a doctor or psychiatrist who's found you mentally ill?
No, ma'am.
So based on your testimony, your attorney's representations, and my observations of you, I'm going to find that you are competent to enter your plea today. Sir, are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, I am.
Where were you born?
St. Louis, Missouri.
Mr. Covington, although you were charged with the first-degree felony, I understand through negotiations you are pleading to the lesser included offense of robbery, which is a second-degree felony. Sir, to that lesser included offense of robbery, what is your plea, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Are you making your plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes, I am.
I will find you are making your plea freely and voluntarily. Ms. Elizalde, would you summarize the evidence, please?
At this case proceeded to trial, the state would have been able to prove that on or about the 21st day of March 2022 and adhered to the presentment of this indictment in the county of El Paso and state of Texas, Robert Covington, hereinafter referred to as defendant, paragraph A, did then and there, while in the course of committing theft of property and with intent to obtain or maintain control of said property, intentionally, knowingly, or recklessly caused bodily injury to Olivia Sosa by striking her with a motor vehicle driven by the defendant, and the defendant did then and there use or exhibit a deadly weapon, a motor vehicle that in the manner of its use and intended use was capable of causing death and serious bodily injury. And it is further presented that the said defendant used and exhibited a deadly weapon, to wit, a motor vehicle during the commission of an immediate flight from said offense. Paragraph B, did then and there, while in the course of committing theft of property with the intent to obtain or maintain control of said property, intentionally, knowingly, or recklessly cause bodily injury to Olivia Sosa by backing up and running over her with a motor vehicle driven by the defendant. And the defendant did then and there use or exhibit a deadly weapon, to wit, a motor vehicle that in the manner of its use and intended use was capable of causing death and serious bodily injury. And it is further presented that the said defendant used and exhibited a deadly weapon, to wit, a motor vehicle during the commission of an immediate flight from said offense. At this time, we would ask the court to introduce into the record States Exhibit 1, plea papers, States Exhibit 2, disclosure form.
Any objection? Mr. Morales, I muted you because there was some background noise. Please unmute, Mr. Morales.
Sorry, Judge. No objection, except to the matters not required to prove up the lesser offense of robbery. Judge.
Okay, in terms of states 1 and 2, those are admitted. What is the plea agreement?
It is a lesser included robbery, second degree, 6 years confinement in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice with no paid supervision.
Mr. Morales, is that your understanding of the plea agreement?
It is, Judge.
Mr. Covington, is that your understanding as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Understand that the plea agreement is not binding on the court. However, if I were to reject it, I would allow you to withdraw your plea. If I follow the plea agreement, you may not appeal this case except on matters raised by written motion and ruled on before trial or by permission of the court. The next document I'm going to ask you about is the one-page document entitled the Trial Court Certification of Your Right to Appeal. It is a document that explains your appeal rights because this is a plea, bargained, or negotiated case. You do not have an automatic right of appeal. Mr. Covington, do you recall reviewing the trial court certification with your attorney and signing that document?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
It was signed by your attorney and signed by the court as well. So on your plea of guilty and the evidence introduced, I will accept your plea and at this time find the evidence substantiates your guilt. I will find you guilty of the lesser included offense of robbery, and I will send you, according to the plea agreement, to 6 years confinement in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice Institutional Division. You will receive credit for any and all time that you have served. Is there anything further, Ms. Elizalde?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. Morales?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Covington. Thank you. Good luck to you, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you too.
All right, who's next?
Staying on
Mr.
page
Covington.
20, Judge.
Mhm.
Annex, we have Dantignac. Daryl,
Who was that again? I'm sorry.
Dantignac, Daryl.
Yes, give me a sec. Be right out.
Yeah, I believe there's also 2 cases here. The additional case ends 463.
Judge, this one, I thought was set in person because he didn't sign the waiver of a virtual plea, but I know he would waive that on the record because he's been in jail for some time and he really needs
I
to.
need it. I need it in writing. I need it in writing. We didn't get that updated?
No, that's why I'm here. I thought it was an in-person hearing.
No, well, we didn't request him in person. We can have him in person on Thursday.
Okay,
Okay, we set it for Thursday at 11 a.m. And make sure it's both cases, please, 462 and 463.
sounds good.
Thank you. Who's next?
Staying on page 20, Judge.
Hmm.
Annex, may we have Chilson?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
So when did Mr. Chilson plea? Do we know?
Let me confirm, Your Honor.
I'm just curious. Ms. Rago, you're not conflicted out of this?
It was with ROA. It was before. That was, I believe it was in June of 2022.
Got it.
It was right before me. I did the same thing.
Okay. Alrighty, go ahead.
Because number 2020-0D00846, State of Texas versus Andrew Chilson. Announcement of council, please.
Eliana Elizalde for the state is ready.
Samantha Raug on behalf of defense. Defense is ready, Your Honor.
And Mr. Chilson is appearing from the jail annex. We're set today for a probation status hearing. Mr. Chilson has been in custody probably close to 30 days. Do we have a motion filed in this case?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, all right. So I reviewed the case summary. We have a long history of not reporting. He may be reported 3 times. He was on the unable to locate docket. I'm at revoking him to 6 months. So, Ms. Rago?
I'll talk to Your Honor, and we can go from there.
I'm sorry?
I can talk to him, Your Honor, and I can give you an update on if it's going to be set for a contested revo or.
I will set it for a pre-revo in 3 weeks at this jail slot. So it'll be at the 3 p.m. slot. And if you anticipate that it's going to be a plea of true, we can do it then as long as you get your paperwork in, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All righty. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chilson. Who's next? Thank you, Ms. Rago. It's good to see you.
The rest of the cases are for the public defender's office. Been trying to get in hold of Mr. Hoffman, no answer.